of the Nigeria Bar Association, that is the NBA, Olumide Akpata, all right, who is also grappling for that ticket. And then you have the likes of Kenneth, Imasu Agbon, the popular rice man as is known in Benin. He also wants that ticket. So you have a couple of politicians who have been able to plant themselves in the politics of the state over time, in the Labour Party, trying to get a ticket as well. So it's going to be a keenly contested position. That's the point we're seeing. But within the PDP itself, the first fight that must be won is, from all indications, between the state governor and his deputy. There you have pictures of most of these people there. Of course, you have Oserime Osumbo. That's the first man there, top left corner. His picture is just right above that of Philip Shaibu. All right, Oserime Osumbo, just to create context, is the man that was removed by the tribunal in 2008, November, and that was the incident that brought in Comrade Adams Oshiomhole as governor, and he was sworn in on the 12th of November 2008, succeeding Oserime Osumbo, who had only been in power for just a little over a year, that is for a year and a few months. And then we understand that he has made frantic efforts since then to return to Osadebe Avenue. That's the popular name for Edo State Government House. But again, that didn't work. And then you see Ikpea there. Ikpea also is ambitious as far as the governorship of Edo State is concerned. But how popular is he? How much of, as they say these days, structures does he have on the ground, regardless of what political party he is affiliated or would want to be affiliated with going forward? All right, and then next to him is the man in white, top right corner. That's Barrister Kenneth Imasu Agbon. That's the popular rice man in Edo State. Again, one of the concerns people have about him is that he has been in all the both major political parties in the state, the APC and the PDP, back and forth. As a matter of fact, he was one of the foot soldiers who supported Governor Obaseki 3 years ago. That was in 2020 when he was running to win his second term into office as governor of the state. He was in the US at the time, and this was in the middle of COVID. Flew back into the country and also wanted to stand in that election for governor. But then in the end, he was one of the persons, including Engineer Ogbede Iyama, former member House of Reps, representing Oedo Federal Constituency, who collapsed their structures in favor of Godwin Obaseki. But as of today, we know better. These two men are not in the good books of the governor. In fact, they don't even see eye to eye, at least politically speaking. And then you look at the fourth man there, bottom left. That's Comrade Philip Shaibu, a man that some people have called, without thinking twice, the political godson of Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. Not only are they from the same senatorial district, not only are they from virtually the same village, as some people will argue, but they've come a long way. Recall that at a point, Comrade Philip Shaibu was only the opposition member, the only opposition member on the floor of Edo State House of Assembly, while Oshiomhole was doing his first time as governor in Edo State. In fact, there had even been a free-for-all where Comrade Philip Shaibu had sustained a very serious injury, and news at the time had it that he had been flown abroad for treatment. But then things moved real quick, and the next thing we knew was that in 2015, he had already won a seat at the House of Representatives to represent his own federal constituency. But then Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, who was about leaving office at the time, had brought in Godwin Obaseki to succeed him, and also picked Comrade Philip Shaibu to run with him as a deputy. The rest is history, because they didn't win that election in 2016, and that's how Philip Shaibu became deputy governor. As a matter of fact, in the run-up to the 2020 governorship election, which is again an off-cycle election in Edo State, it was common for you to see Governor Obaseki and Comrade Philip Shaibu call themselves brothers. They were so closely knitted. But then, obviously, there was a common enemy, which was the former governor Adams Aliyu Oshiomhole at the time. But today, all that has changed. Governor Obaseki and, of course, Adams Aliyu Oshiomhole have become darlings, for want of better words, again, and Philip Shaibu is now the common enemy. So these are all of the factors that will play play out in the run-up to the 2024 governorship election in the state. But I'd like to see that picture again. So you have two gentlemen still there. The next to Comrade Shaibu is Asue Ighodalo. Now, Asue Ighodalo is somebody who is considered by many as an authority and an enigma in the business and corporate world. As of today, we understand that he's the chairman of Sterling Bank Group, as well as he's the chairman of Dangote Flour. All right. So he has come a long way in the corporate world. He has found more than traction, and he's good friends with the current governor of the state. So as of last year, there had also already been the speculations that he had been tapped by the governor. In fact, as of 2021, but today, all of that has become more obvious to everyone, because the governor, we are told, has now introduced him to the leadership of his party, that is the PDP in Edo State, as a person to succeed him. All right. Then the last person there, bottom right, is Prince Clem Agba. Now, Prince Clem Agba is somebody who has done more than cut his teeth in the oil sector, oil and gas sector. That is, he has also served as commissioner for, in Edo State. At the point, he was Commissioner for Environment and Public Utilities under the leadership of Comrade Adams Saliu Shomole as governor back in the day. Then he moved on from there to be appointed Minister of State for a national plan, for planning, and of course for budget. Okay, so today he's also a chieftain of the party from Edo North of the states, and then he wants to stand, he wants to run for election as governor come 2024. So these are some of the key gladiators, as they call them, within the political space that you will be seeing in the days, weeks, and months leading into the election. We're taking a quick break here, everyone. When we return, we'll look at the Nation newspaper and a few others for you. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us, everyone. Let's turn to the Nation newspaper for you now and see what stories, the big headlines that we have right in front of it. Let's begin with the headlines just above the nameplate of the Nation newspaper this morning. The outgoing, outgone executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service has his picture there. FRS recovers 4 trillion naira tax liabilities from NNPC. That's on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Obasanjo justifies public rebuke of traditional rulers. We understand that he has referred to his wife, who had come to apologize on his behalf, as an impostor. Petrol importers, power firms behind anti-Akpabio plots. 5 senators, 26 reps sacked by tribunals. Police kill 8, arrest 9 in Shagamu court clash. And then we have one here. NEF Chief Baba Ahmed joins Shetima as special advisor. Why accepted offer? VP gets 17 other raids. Atiku Obi appeals raise concern over Supreme Court cases. And then another one here says a panel of 7 will deplete the number of justices to 4. Tomorrow, justices of the appeal courts will be sworn in by the CJN, that's the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and Global TV will bring you details of that event tomorrow. All right, Tinubu Ramaphosa in investment talks at United Nations General Assembly, that's a UNGA. Okay, we'll bring you all that as well. Shaibu's drama at Government House deepens row with Obaseki. Okay, you see a picture of the deputy governor there standing in front of his vehicle, apparently looking stranded with his two hands right in his pockets. Okay. Agoro likely to become Lagos HOS, that's Lagos Head of Service. Federal government's NLC talks to continue. When? Well, read it up when you pick up a copy of the Nation newspaper this morning. That's on page 4 of the paper. All right, we have the Daily Times for you as well. Okay, look at the Daily Times this morning. You see that just above the nameplate, there is sundry charges hurting maritime operations in Nigeria. Female operators tell Oyetola. Move to impeach Senate President Akpabio rumbles on. Northern senators, riled by inability to check Tinubu's perceived Yorubanization of economy. The untold role of northern big business owners, disco owners, angry with him over failed 40% tariff hike plan. 2024 Guba, deputy governor locked out amid fresh mess in government house. Security cites order from above. Shaibu may fight dirty. Well, we'll be here watching and hoping that the best happens for the people of the great state of Edo. Tinubu appoints 18 aides in the vice president's office on page 4. 20 feared dead as cultist clash resurges in Shagamu, curfew imposed. All right, I stand by my action on royal fathers. That's Obasanjo. So the former president is not repentant over that utterance. That's what it means. Okay. FG NLC meeting ends in deadlock as indefinite strike alone. So we understand that dialogue continues. Let's hope that the efforts will pay off in such a way that there will be a peaceful, amicable resolution in the interest of all Nigerians ultimately. But then we have Daily Trust as well for you. Let's take a look at the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. 3 big headlines right beneath the nameplates of the paper. Tinubu appoints 3 Daily Trust's columnists, Baba Ahmed inclusive, 14 others as aides for Shetima. Appointments, you are favoring Yoruba Christians, Merrick Knox president. FX unification, subsidy removal, difficult decisions for Nigeria's prosperity. That's according to the United States. NNPCL, 12 others failed to remit $9.85 billion in 1 year. Naiti, NNPCL queried over misappropriation of $55 million NLNG dividends. National Assembly must recover funds. NCDMB, we are for transparency, accountability, carry. Subsidy, FG NLC meeting deadlocked. That story, incidentally, as expected, is replicated across the dailies today. Tribunal, Kano Governor, APC to no fate tomorrow. Tinubu advocates consensus on funds spent by finance institutions in Africa. Many farmers killed as bandits attack 7 villages at Kebbi-Sokoto border. So what do we have on the front page of The Guardian this morning? Quite a number of them, actually. All right, when you look at The Guardian today, it says Nigerians bear 1 trillion naira metering burden as CBN World Bank backpedal. That's on page 6. And then increases in meter prices between 2013 and 2023. That's a 10-year period. So you have a breakdown graphically and brilliantly put together there on the front page of The Guardian newspaper this morning. Economy insecurity, other concerns as 2024 budget plans begin. UNGA, Tinubu addresses world leaders today on illicit financial flows, assets return. Husband narrates how fake doctor harvested late wife's kidney. 20 feared killed, 7 arrested in Shagamu court war. NNPCL fails to remit $6.9 billion, swaps $7.1 billion worth of crude in 1 year. Litigation stalls AMCON's loan recovery. 73% of top 350 debtors in court. All right. How about the Blueprint newspaper? The Blueprint has a big story that has to do with labor and the federal government Debacle says FG meets divided labor, pleads for patience. So if labor itself that's supposed to be organized is divided, what does that imply for the welfare of workers across this country? Well, we'll wait to see. But then there are two writers to that story. Says we recognize valid grievances that fueled crisis. NLC, TUC in separate meetings with Minister Ajero frowns at government's double standard. Those are details you would find on page 6 if you pick up a copy of the Blueprint newspaper this morning. A stand-up order to monarchs. Stand by my action. Obasanjo. Kidnappers abduct NTA staff, 10 others in Benue. Kidney theft. Police arrest 2 in Plateau. Set up probe panel. Tinubu names Modibo, Hakim, Baba, Ahmed, Wokocha, others as Shetima's aides. Adedeji takes over at FIRSK, insists 96% debt servicing not sustainable. 8.5 trillion naira generated January to September under my watch. And Nami, that's the outgone executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, saying that's 8.5 trillion naira generated between January and September under his watch. All right. Okay. Then you have the other paper here, Nigerian News Direct. That's our next port of call. Again, it has a picture of the vows to block revenue leakages. 30 million hackathon prize. NCC calls for applications from Nigeria's tech community. Government agencies or companies fail to remit over $9.85 billion revenue to FG. That's according to NATI. 80% of the financial liabilities owed by NNPCL. Nigeria loses 68.47 million barrels of crude oil to measurement error, theft, sabotage. That's quite a complicated way to lose crude as a nation. Of course, the implications are grave and numerous. 17 feared dead in Shagamu cultist clash as Ogun government orders curfew. FCT Operation Sweep arrests 400 persons, impounds 50 vehicles. NDIC set to pay liquidation dividends to depositors, ex-staff of Merchant Bank. How increased local production reduced importation of pharmaceutical products by 63% in 2 years. That's according to NAFDAC on page 2 of News Direct this morning. Our last paper today is the Business Day newspaper, all right, where we get to follow the money for you as always. Bonus for shareholders as banks post bumper profits. AMCON recovers 70% of bad debts. Sells NG Eagles certification process as expiry date nears. Okay, SA Nigeria's strained relations rob continent of economic gains. Very sad. So the area we get back to dialogue with South Africa, the better for not just the two countries, but also for the continent, all right? Stable Naira fiscal policy rejig key to woo U.S. investments at DMO, all right? So that's according to Wale Adeyemo, who is the Deputy Secretary, U.S. Department of the Treasury, spoke yesterday at the Lagos Business School. I talked about how that's the solutions to Nigeria's problems will not come easy. It's part of the conversation we'll be having here in the course of the Business Week for you at Global Television. And that's a full circle here on the paper segments of show this morning. But the conversations, of course, do continue. I'm Uyi Agmo Fuegbe. Stay with us.